So do you go see a therapist and do you get along with them really well? Well, I've been seeing this therapist for almost a year, about a year. I go every 2 weeks or so. We get along pretty good. I'm almost 53 and he's 28. And I wanted a male therapist because I like to have the male perspective on things versus always a female. I've been in therapy for 39 years, and because I have borderline personality disorder as well as bipolar, PTSD, and ADD, a few other things as well, but those are the big ones. And he decided that we should fix me when it comes to the borderline because I didn't quite understand it. And I told him that. So he decided that, we're going to come up with a plan to fix me. And I can't say that sat with me really well. He wanted to know whether or not I wanted to get out of my head. And I didn't exactly know what that meant. So I couldn't give him a yes or no answer. And in the 2.5 weeks in between us seeing each other, I still couldn't decide. And when it came down to it, it was no. And the reason being is, this is me. This is how I am. I really don't want to change who I am because after this long, you get used to who you are. And you learn to accept the way you are. So I wasn't really up on, I don't want to say learning new things, but I didn't trust what he had in store for me. And he's like, well, do you want to get better? No, I want to get worse. Well, I can't say I'm that bad. I even asked my fiance, am I really that bad? Am I, a real bitch? Do I really lose my cool that easy? How am I really? And he's going to be honest with me. He's not going to lie to me. And he says, you're really not that bad. So I saw my therapist 2 days ago. And whenever your therapist says, we'll talk about it next time, they always forget. So I was just talking about everyday things, just like always. And toward the end, I said to him, I brought it up, and I said, you've only been doing this for, I don't know how long, but I've been doing this for 39 years. And his answer every time was, yeah, but I have an education. Yeah, but I have an education. And I said, well, you know what? I've been doing this for 39 years. And I got my education at the School of Hard Knocks. And it pissed him off because every answer or question he gave me, I gave him the opposite. And I kind of fought him on it, saying just because you have an education doesn't mean you know. And I told him, I said, I've lived it. You've learned it, but I've lived it. You haven't lived it. And yeah, as bucky as I'm being right now is as bucky as I was with him. Because just because you can learn how to spell doesn't mean, just because you can learn how to spell kill doesn't mean you've killed. I'm not saying I've killed somebody. I'm just using it as an example of just because you've learned it doesn't mean you've lived it. You don't know how I feel. Sure, you can learn how people feel from certain, experiences, But that doesn't, just because you learn how somebody can feel, doesn't mean you know how they feel. So I was kind of pissed off. We didn't part on good terms, I can say. It's to the point where I'm thinking about actually getting somebody else because I'm so pissed off at him. Yeah, I see him in 2 weeks. Will my attitude and my perspective change? Absolutely not. Just because you've gone to school for it and you've learned about it, I learned the hard way, So I didn't take things. I'm trying to move away from the window. Oh, that made it worse. Because the reflection on my glasses drives me crazy. And David's upstairs sleeping, so I wasn't going to go try to get on my computer and use my camera. But, so I'm downstairs on my phone. But, he just refused to take into consideration my feelings. And when I see him next time, I'm going to tell him that. I'm going to say, you disregarded my feelings and just thought about yourself and your education. You didn't think about how I might be feeling. You didn't think about how my life and those 39 years, I've gone through so many therapists. I've gone through so many psychiatrists. It's not even funny. And I figured I'd give him a chance, and hopefully he would be good for me and be able to give me male perspective. Yes, if my eyes are shut, no, I haven't slept yet. I don't know what that is. I've been watching TV. I've been watching YouTube on TV. I go on my computer and I do the YouTube thing. But anyway, do you really think it's fair to judge somebody, or I don't even know how to express the disrespect? Well, I have an education. Well, try fucking living it, Try having your spouse die. Try having your children die. Try, having a god-awful divorce. Try going through, 8.5 years of not seeing your children. Try living my life before you judge and spew, well, I have an education. That doesn't mean you're experienced. And that's the truth. Like I said, I got my education, the hard knocks. He got his education in a classroom. He didn't get hands-on experience. Sure, he has sense, but not, I can say probably not every situation out there. Sure, he has a lot of patients that have mental illnesses. And he says, I don't think you have ADHD. Well, I still have ADD. I don't need to have ADHD. I don't need to have every label that they want to put on me just because of my behavior or because of, what I've gone through, what I've been through. 39 years to go through, I don't want to call it the system, but the psychology system or the mental system. That's longer, and he's 28. So, dude, I have a whole lot more on you. And yeah, I argued with him because he really wasn't being fair. He really wasn't taking my experiences into consideration. All he kept doing was spewing that he has an education. Well, okay, I'll switch spots with you then. You go and, go through what I've been through, and I'll talk to your friends who come in. And he said that, he goes, well, you're coming here for help. You're not coming here for a friend, because my last psychologist slash therapist said I didn't need to be there. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? And he goes, you have the coping skills. You don't have to be here. And I said, well, I do. I said, I need somebody to vent to. I need somebody to talk to. Somebody who maybe can help me get some ideas if I get stuck. And so he says, you're not here for a friend or to be a friend or something along those lines. That I'm there for help. Sure, I have all those mental disabilities. Yeah, I'm going to need some help. But I don't need a disrespect. And it was. And it wasn't fair. And I'm going to tell him that next time I see him. That really wasn't fair to, put two different situations like that. It was just horseshit, It just wasn't fair. And I didn't have the time. It was almost like, oh, I'm better than you because I'm educated. I'm smarter than you because I got an education in this. Really, did they educate you in every single situation? I don't think so. So I don't know if I'm going to stay with him just because of this simple disrespect and lack of empathy, lack of, I guess I didn't say a whole lot because I was so stunned. I was so shocked. I couldn't believe that he said that. And then to try to, with the borderline personality disorder, I read about it, I do videos about it, but I don't quite get it when it comes to myself. And that's a lot of times. I can understand you and, things like that. But when it comes to me, see, and then I have trouble with bipolar too, because it's bipolar 1, but, understanding, because they like to cross paths. And I can be both at the same time. So that makes it really difficult to maneuver through, because you can have these feelings at one point and then your feelings can change so fast, and it's difficult. It's a rough road. It really is. And I do my best. I think my hair is sticking up. I'm really self-conscious, but I'm trying to hold my phone still to keep it from moving around, so I don't really care. But no, I made a video the other day after I saw him, and I think I fell asleep, and it's the second time that I've fallen asleep during my video taping, and so it was pretty much no good. And then I only see my psychiatrist for 15 minutes via telemed every 2 to 3 months, and she's like, okay, I'll just refill your pills. She reminds me of my dad. My dad would go in once a year to the VA clinic. They would refill his prescriptions and send him on his way. He wouldn't get an exam. He wouldn't talk to a psychiatrist. And I believe he had paranoid schizophrenia. at least. I know he had other medical conditions, but he wouldn't go to the doctor. And I know that mental illnesses are hereditary, and I know I got some of them from him, but what are you going to do? You just go with it. You know, we moved from one state to another, and the way they do things down here are different. They take your Xanax away. That was the only thing that fucking helped me. But it's addictive, and you're only supposed to be on it for a few weeks. Well, I was on it for 15 years. Oh, the squirrels just ran through. There's the ADD, but they're cute to watch. And Sasha's over there pissing me off. She always has to lick and shit while I'm trying to do this. And there goes scratching. And it's just, she has allergies. But, it's distracting. But like I said, I made this video the other day, and it didn't work out. I can't remember exactly why, but it didn't, I mean. So, I just wanted to, I had the quiet for the most part. I'm just so irritated that he's so disrespectful to me. Let me see if I can turn this around. Sasha. There she is. I can't do that with my camera upstairs. So that made me happy. You got to see my girl. She's my girl. I got her 6 days after I had my knee replacement. And she's so loyal. She's great. But after watching all this YouTube stuff, I'm like, I'm gonna make this video because I made it and then something happened to it. So I decided to make it now. So, I've had the female, she's got to do that shit while I'm recording. She does it every time. That's why she's not allowed in the bedroom while I'm filming. But, sorry. I've had so many female therapists, and it just turned out to be, like I would say, dresses and clothes and girl stuff. So that's why I always now go to a male, because you get a totally different perspective on things. And his perspective, he can shove up his ass. I'm not real happy with him right now. So I think I'm going to start to look for somebody else. And down here it's slim pickings. There's just nothing. They set David up with somebody who was like gonna have a baby the day or the day after that they made his appointment. What? The thing is this one's only 8 miles away. The thing is, I have to learn how to train him. He needs to be retrained because he is not good. He is not looking at people as people. He's looking at them as his study subjects that he did in school. So I need to whoop his ass into shape. And I will. I'm not intimidated. Especially by doctors and professionals. They can kiss my ass. So I was just curious if any of you have had bad experiences and what kind of experiences you've had that have made you go head to head with a mental care professional, whatever you want to call them, and what you did about it. I could use some advice right now on whether I should bail or what exactly I should do. If I should stick it out, but then it causes conflict because he just doesn't see things the way he should. That I am not one of his guinea pigs that he used when he was learning that I'm an actual person who has trauma and anxiety and, things like that. He just doesn't seem to be getting it. So, I hope you have a good weekend. I'm still going to be me. I'm not going to let him intimidate me because he's just a boy. I have a son his age, and we're estranged. But I'm not going to let him push me around and think he's better than me because he has an education. Well, you know what? My education is real, not, in a class. My learning, my experiences are real life experiences. So feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, like, share, check out some of my other videos. Now I have a cat kneading on the freaking pillow. Get out of here. Oh, there goes an earthquake with my phone because I shoved her. She's pissing me. Can't they just leave me alone for 21 minutes? That's all I ask. 21 minutes. But I'll get over it. So take care. Have a good weekend.